the first sack of the afternoon. Lead the charge for Bismarck was Brendan Daly, the 6'4".
Leadership is a tough thing to find, and in modern football, so is a game-changing end rusher. So when you get both, look out. Enter Brendan Daly. One of the key signings for the Bismarck Bucks, Daly is top 10 in the league in sacks and top 5 in tackles for loss. Add to that his work in the community and his locker room charisma, and opposing teams get their daily dose. It's a mentality that perfectly fits the speedy brand that is indoor football.
The game is faster. I like the fact that my one job is, two jobs, but mostly 80% of my job is to get to the quarterback.
After his years at junior college, Brendan began his career at Division I, University of Hawaii. And, while it's a bit of an adjustment from Honolulu, the former Warrior has loved his time in the Midwest.
Obviously, the weather's a little bit different. I mean, most snow I've ever seen in my entire life. But, Bismarck, I like the community. Everywhere I go, restaurant, either the YMCA, I'm striking out conversations. People are very friendly.
Unfortunately, Brendan hurt his hamstring in last week's game versus Kansas City. But he's staying positive.
I'm rehabbing it right now, so if there's a good time, I guess, to have a hamstring little pull, this is the time, because next week's our bye week, and then give me about good 2 weeks to recover.
That positivity has always been a part of Brendan's game throughout his career, even going back to his days with the NFL's Atlanta Falcons. Daly has thrived in difficult spots.
The crew found out that I went to the University of Hawaii, and they came up to me and they're like, "Hey, Brendan, do you know how to play the ukulele?" And in my head, I was like, "Well, I've had 2 weeks experience." And I was like, "I'm gonna make my family at home laugh." I was like, "Yeah," but I didn't tell them that. In my mind, I was like, "Yeah, I'm great at it." Some liked it, and Rolling Stone said it was not so good.
Well, there's no doubt. Music can be subjective, and so we let you make your own decisions. Take a listen to Brendan on the ukulele.
Okay, we're on to something. With my LBs by the pool, they're asking me to please sing them a song. What I said, it might be wrong.
Brendan is hoping to get back to playing opposing offensive linemen in a couple weeks when the Bucks take on one of the best teams in the entire league, the Bandits of Sioux City. For the Beck Broadcasting Network, I'm Corey Brooks.
You could hear a pin drop in this place. Kick is up, kick is good!
Fans come from all over to watch the Bismarck Bucks, but the winners for distance are, no doubt, the parents of kicker Evan Connolly. They flew in from Waterford, Ireland this past weekend, about 4,000 miles away from Bismarck.
It's been a long trip. Like, we started off at around 4 a.m. on the Thursday morning, 26th of April, and we got in sometime around 9:30, the 26th of April.
For Evan's dad, it was the very first time he'd seen his son play live instead of staying up late to watch online.
Have you gotten to see Evan play before?
Only on television, stream versions there back in Ireland, even though it's about 1 o'clock in the morning, when it's 7 o'clock here at night.
Evan's mom, on the other hand, has seen him play in a Bucks uniform, but it was in a Rocky Mountain College jersey where Evan first shocked his parents with his decision to play American football in his 5th year at school.
I was really surprised. I couldn't believe it. At home we have a game and it's called Gaelic football, and Evan played that at home. So the transition to kick here, it wasn't that bad.
Nothing about Evan's football journey has been conventional. This all began on the soccer pitch when he was 18.
A guy, an agent of sorts, came to our club, our soccer club in Ireland one night, and he made a presentation about the US, and ever from that night I was drawn to come here and play and get a soccer scholarship. And I told my mom that night after I left the presentation I was going to America, and that was it.
After playing soccer for 4 years at Rocky, Evan went to a meeting that changed his life.
I had all my credits completed and I was just about to graduate. And in my exit meeting for soccer, he was saying that the head football coach needed someone to go kick for the following season.
The Bucks had to rush to get him signed before that week's deadline, so Evan became a pro underneath the arches.
I'd never heard of them before, so I was kind of taking it with a grain of salt. And I remember the first contract I signed was in a McDonald's out off the highway there, 95.
When Evan called back home and said he'd signed with a new franchise called the Bismarck Bucks, Dad had the exact reaction you'd expect.
First of all, I didn't know who the Bucks were. That's the first thing. So I had to go Google straight away to see who they were. But I was very proud.
Speaking of proud parents, Liam and Margaret also came to Bismarck to watch Evan get his master's in business from the University of Mary. So he put an emphasis on education, and that's paid off as he walked the stage here in Bismarck. Mom and Dad were in the crowd for that too.
It was brilliant. I was so proud. It took him 2 years, 2 hard years to get it, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Now Evan and the Bucks get ready for the final third of the season and a playoff run, with 2 of their biggest fans cheering them on from 4,000 miles away. For the Beck
fans
broadcast
wanted to see. After a rough 4-8 season last year, this was the time to turn it around, but it never happened. The Lightning started half an hour before kickoff, and the rain didn't let up until the game was canceled almost 4 hours later. But thousands of fans stayed in their seats in the rain, hoping to watch the Gators' season opener.
My daddy raised me, but at the end of the day, Florida football is everything, and you never leave. Win or lose, rain or shine, you are here till the clock hits 0.
Well, my daughter's a cheerleader, and we not only are great Gator fans, we want to watch them cheer.
I just want to see them play. We want to see a good game. It's a swamp. I love the Gators.
Fans were even dancing and cheering as the rain came down on top of their heads. Gators athletic director Jeremy Foley spoke this morning and said no determination has been made about the game because of, quote, too many moving parts. So the motto for the Gators, at least on Saturday night, was the swamp, where no one gets out dry, not even reporters. That's a story from Gainesville. Corey Brooks, WUFT Sports.